Hey, it's been a minute. I'll say that. It has been a total of this amount of days, and so we're back. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It is 42 degrees in Maricopa County. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But I'm glad you clicked on this video. I have actually 4 videos I'm working on right now. I filmed, I need to edit them, and so this one I actually filmed midway through November. It's kind of interesting. I don't want to give it away, but please enjoy. More content will be coming. Thank you for subscribing. Today's gonna be interesting because not only will I be coaching debate for my younger siblings and some other students I'm coaching, but this weekend I'm also doing a debate of my own. And so it's kind of interesting to see that, you know, I'm gonna be watching them do what I'm going to be actually doing myself this weekend. And so hopefully today and the next few days y'all can see some of those clips of that. And I don't know, I'll take you along the journey with me. What are your expectations for this virtual tournament? First of its kind.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have some problems with tech just because we're like all on Zoom calls.
That's fair.
But I don't know. This will be weird.
Yeah, it
already feels weird, but
it's gonna be so different than like the usual. Just
yeah.
I know they're trying to do some things that are the same, but like you have to change stuff. Like,
yeah.
Hopefully we don't go night with night to breathe.
That is a good hope. That is a good hope. Thanks, Andrew. And so so that's the first main point we have. The issue we have is that with Rawls' principle, if there are inequalities that are legitimate, as long as they don't harm the most vulnerable in society, and that's exactly what we think moratoria will do, especially long term. It talks about using property taxes, but it's also important to note raising property taxes would not be a justifiable thing to do at all, especially considering how long COVID's been in place. So what we see is the only really morally acceptable option is to continue or is to end moratoria because those injustices or those inequalities do not benefit the most vulnerable in society. They said they're looking at the needs of the many versus the needs of the few. Now, obviously, this is a good sentiment, and actually a sentiment we agree with in general. We think that moratoria doesn't look at the needs of the many for long term. Yes, in the short term, it looks at the needs of the many because it gives them a break. But if we consider the possibility that landlords could go under, then that would not help the many, that would hurt the many as well as the landlords. And so we need to look at the landlords, whether they can stay in a viable position, because if they can't, then the many will be affected. So let's talk about the categorical imperative. And this is essentially Immanuel Kant's ethical framework that essentially states, I'm going to paraphrase here, but it says we should only act in such a way that that action can be universalized. So we should only act. When we look at what affirmative action actually is, even though while many people might say it's a good thing, we have to look at the basis. It is discrimination. And I say that because when it comes down to it, affirmative action is essentially saying your race, your ethnicity, another characteristic about you is going to be looked at more highly than your skill level. And again, we're not talking about whether right now, at least, whether that's inherently bad, but we are saying that is inherently, it's inherently unfair. It's inherently violating the categorical imperative. And obviously, I'm not saying that affirmative action is racist. Not at all. We clearly understand affirmative action was in place to counteract racism. But the thing is, the reason why it violates the categorical imperative is essentially we're trying to solve the problem of discrimination in the past by using discrimination in the present. But you can't solve a problem by using the exact same method. We don't believe that's the right option at all. So life's crazy sometimes. Well, I was in 2 meetings. A new refrigerator came in, and there was 2 debate rounds going on at the same time. How do you see the tournaments going so far?
They're having a lot of technical difficulties. Elias had a forfeit round.
That was fun.
And we had to move a lot of our furniture around for the refrigerator.
Lots of furniture.
So, very janky.
They frame the cases on only the benefits of pragmatism, only pragmatism at its best, and we have to take in consideration pragmatism at its best
and also at its worst. We have to, and this is something I've realized in doing LD this year, you have to look at the two different subjects at their best and at their worst, compare them generally. You have to look at all aspects. See, the opposition team is just focusing on when pragmatism works, when it's beneficial, when it's moral. We have to look at the whole situation.
Hi again from the backyard this time. It's been a long day, you know, a day full of surprises here with my fellow animals out here. These guys were absolutely ridiculous today. But yeah, I mean, we're halfway through the week, and I think for me, I'm really inspired seeing all these people get up there and just debate and argue, and I think it's really going to help me from when I actually compete on Saturday. Yeah, I'm taking notes from high schoolers. Of course I am. High schoolers, at least these kinds of high schoolers, are really smart. So I'm taking some of their strategies. Hopefully I can use it on Saturday to my advantage, and you know, do as well as I want to. Still a lot to come. Still got a full day for my students to debate, and then I have my full day on Saturday. So we'll see what happens. This whole virtual environment, it can be very fatiguing, I'll say. We knew that, right? Those of us who've done school online, we knew how tiring it can be. So I am excited. You know, it's been a long day, but I learned a lot. Hopefully I was able to judge some rounds, so hopefully I gave good feedback. Pablo, what are you doing? Yeah. So that's it, you know. We'll see what the next couple days have in store.
It's loading.
Of course it's loading.
What do you mean it's loading?
It's a text.
We're having an internet connection issue. Are you in suspense?
Of course.
Steven's camera off.
All right. Sorry about that. We are just having a day full of technical issues. I've heard Tennessee is like off the grid today. All right. I have announcements.
You don't have to call
Are
them
you
out.
Excited? Here we go.
Oh.
In room 402, this is science law.
Oh.
Reed Baker.
So yeah, now we're here in the car. Diego, what do you have to say about the debate so far? Classic as always. Pablo, you back there? Oh, he's back there. He's surveying. Yeah. So sometimes life is pretty crazy. Today's been pretty wild. Lots of things happening at once. I can name at least 5 things that could have gone wrong, and some of them did. Sometimes you just have to get out and do something fun, you know? And just Pablo, it's okay, buddy. See, Pablo's not having a good time, but it's fine. You have to go out and get fun. So where am I? I'm at Starbucks. Did I get Starbucks drinks? I did, but mainly I got some other coffees and stuff from other places that are better than Starbucks. I just went to Starbucks because I dropped a drink. That's the only reason, so for the record. But yeah, you should go out, take a break from the busyness of your life, and yeah, just do something fun. Like, go to Starbucks with your dog friends. Isn't that right, Diego? It's right.
The experts are actually on our side. And at the end of the day, the affirmative team doesn't actually solve for their harm. Because they don't solve for their harm because their harm's not there in the first place. Confrontational and authoritarian leadership is rapidly undermining Turkey's status as a reliable NATO ally, and deteriorating security situation in the region presents a real physical threat. And that threat is real. We can see that this evidence is talking about the TNWs, about how it's not a really good place for Turkey's not a really good place for the TNWs.
No, only a few. If Elias doesn't advance, I would eat 4 pieces of pizza. So I'm going to eat however many that is.
Okay.
Right there. That just, you gotta be a man of your word. Be a man of integrity. How do you feel about that, Liz?
I mean,
How do you feel about the tournament?
I'm fine. Okay, but the tournament, I don't like it. I don't like the tournament at all. But I'm
Fair
happy
enough.
how we did in Power League. We didn't expect it, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. So we've made it. The end of the week. It's Saturday now. For the most part, my siblings and students' debates are done, which means it's my turn. That's why I'm dressed up. I'm excited. I mean, I love debate. You know, this is gonna sound super nerdy, but just like retired NBA players just like really miss the game, when you finish debate, there's just nothing like that. And so you miss that as well. In the same way, again, super nerdy, I know, but it's the same thing. Like, just going back and forth with arguments, trying to persuade an audience. Those are things I miss, But I'm excited. I really am excited. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because, there's always that thing in the back of my head that says, if I can coach students and they do well, that's awesome. But if I can't do the same, am I really that good of a coach? Or am I just not that good of a debater? This is something that's always plagued me. What I've come to realize is that, number one, people aren't looking at you the same way you look at yourself. Most of the time. It's just like an example of a textbook insecurity that I think we go through. So we make up these things about ourselves, and we lie. We listen to these lies about ourselves when we don't have to. At the end of the day, you're you, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. That's what we always say, in these circles. I wouldn't say it's because you had fun, though. That's something no, it's not. It's not about fun. I mean, if you have fun along the way, awesome. It's really more about the things you've learned and the things you can take away. If you have a failure, if you lose something, if you don't give your best on something, you can learn something else. That's not a loss. You've gained something, no matter what it is. Whether it's losing all your basketball games, whether it's losing or failing at a certain project that you thought you were going to excel in, there's something to be learned, and that's invaluable every single time. The first time I competed in this kind of competitive event in college, we won a round, we lost a round, and we tied a round. And we were feeling really, really confident about that. We barely did any practice, we barely did any research, but it happened. The next year, I worked my butt off. I researched, I practiced, I did all this stuff. And at the end of the round, the results, we lost all 3 rounds. So we did significantly worse the second time. Now, looking back, I know it's because I didn't practice with my team. We didn't have anything set in place. They were rusty. I was rusty, but I had not communicated with my team. This year's different. I've learned from those 2 situations how to improve. This year, we did nothing but practice. We practiced and we practiced and we practiced. I didn't do as much research, I'll be honest. But what I realized is maybe research wasn't what was needed to win. Now, I say that now. Before the tournament, we could lose all our rounds again, And there'll be something to learn then as well. But my point is, if you're not learning from your failures, then it is a waste. Don't let your failures just be that. Let them be a learning opportunity. And that I know how hard it is to hear that. I know it's not what you want to hear in the moment. But as someone looking back at high school, as someone who looked back at his losses in high school competitive debate, there are so many opportunities I could have taken to really improve. But I didn't. I just kind of bottled them up inside. So I want to encourage you today, if you have a failure, if you lose, if you're going through something like that, learn those lessons. Make it count for something. But I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to do a lot of that later. And I mean, I'm ready to go. I got my Red Bull ice drink. Kind of early for a Red Bull, but kind of need some energy. Let's head on over. Let's see how it goes. And thus begins the hardest part for any kind of competition. Waiting for it to start. The anxiety. The anticipation. But like I said before, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I've been ready for pretty much an entire year. Ever since my last time I spoke in a competitive way. I've been waiting for a chance to just get out there and do it again. And so I'm ready. We'll see what happens. We got this. And that's when I decided I could not film. You see, I got so nervous about competing that I just literally, I didn't do it. I didn't film any of it. So I will recap. I know this video is already kind of long, but I want to recap how that day went down. So very first round, we get in there. I'm ready. Like I said, I'm ready to go. I'm down. We're hitting a new team. Team has never competed before. So I'm like, great, easy win for us. Never think that. That's a terrible idea. So the first topic was Civil War reenactments. That was the first topic. And the second topic was about COVID resuscitations. So long story short, we actually lost that round. Mainly because my team wasn't ready. We were all rusty again. And so many people on the team it was their first time. We needed to get warmed up. And so I'll be honest, after that first loss, because right in the round, if you lost or won, they'll tell you. I got up and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. It seemed like it was going to be the exact same way as last year, and that first loss hit pretty hard, I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting to lose to a beginning team like that, but we did. And then a voice in my head was like, well, you have 2 rounds left, minimum. Go win those. And so we went out, Second round was against a much better team, but we already had one round under our belts, so we went out there. So the top two topics for the second round was J.K. Rowling and her recent comments about transgenderism, and then the other one was about not COVID resuscitation, but it was about organ donation. And so those were the two different topics. We came out swinging. My team did an amazing job. We were just all moving on all different cylinders in the right directions, and we won that quite handily. We won that by a lot. And so that's when it clicked. I was like, this is different. You know, just like I just said a few minutes ago in that clip, the practice did pay off. The research wasn't needed. We had everything we needed in this team. And so I was feeling really excited about that. We won that round. The other worry was this. So there was massive delays in the tournament. It was virtual, fully virtual, obviously. So there was massive delays, technically speaking. And I had work later on. So thought crossed my head. I'm like, I may be either A, be late to work, which is really does not look good for me, or B, I may not be able to compete in the last round. And so we get to that third round, we get in, I say, hey, can we present first? Can we get my part done first so I can leave? And they're like, oh yeah, we can totally do that, which was a godsend. We get in there, our two topics were affirmative action, and the other one was, I don't remember, I guess it wasn't important. But affirmative action was our main one. That was the one we had prepped a lot on. And again, we had an excellent round. I had to leave early. So as soon as my speaking part was done, I left. I drove very fast to my work. And so I was at work really just hoping to know if we won that round or not. And throughout the show, I was checking my phone and seeing if we'd won. It looked like we had. And I was like, okay, that's first of all, that's great. Just a pause right there. I was so excited. 2 wins and a loss. I can take that. That's winning more than we've lost. That's better than we've done in the last 3 years. Very excited. But I was looking at the numbers, and you have to be in the top 4 to qualify for nationals. And I was like, there's a good chance that might have pushed us into the top 4. I do get an email later on that day saying we didn't make the top 4 or 5. A little disappointed about that. But, you know, I honestly, like I said, I was a little disappointed. Winning 2 rounds, like I said, world's better than last semester. And that's exactly what you want in these kind of situations. You may have not gotten the top prize, but did we improve? Yes. What we had done worked, and that was beyond exciting for me. And then I did not check my phone again until I got home later that night around 10, and I look at the group chat, and it's basically a professor who's guiding us tells us that, so there was 5 top teams, they all got trophies, but one of those teams in the top 5, 2 of those teams in the top 5 were from the same school. They're from the same school, they can't both go to nationals, 2 different teams from the same school. So that means whoever's in 6th place gets moved to the 5th place spot. And that was us. So we got moved to the 5th place spot, which means, and this is still true as of today, if one of those top 4 teams drops out, we will be going to nationals. And that blew my mind. I was so excited to hear that. Again, better than I ever could have expected. I so thankful and so blessed for this opportunity. But overall, an exciting week, an insane week. God is good. You know, I learned a lot of lessons. And I have 1 more year to compete in this format. And so we're gonna give it our all next year. We're gonna do our very best next year. You know, we learn even more. We can improve on that, and I hope to get to nationals for sure next year. We'll see how it goes. That's all I had for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy that kind of content, leave a comment. Maybe I'll do some more stuff like that. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I do have other videos already lined up, ready to go. It's winter break. Hopefully I can get some more content out there. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thanks for my 19 subscribers. You guys are the best. And I hope to see you guys very, very soon, and hopefully not in 6 months, but no promises. Bye, guys.